Regular Senate meeting to order, and I'm not going to do a roll call question just so we can directly go into the evening. So with that, we'll begin with any student recognitions for student forum and announcements. Are there any motions to be recognized for student forum and announcements? I recognize Senator Kretzinger.
Make this quick. Upper cabinet applications are still open until Friday is our priority deadline. So we are starting interviews. And we start them today. They'll go through until next week. So please put your applications in if you haven't done so already.
Thank you very much, Senator. Are there any other motions to be recognized for student forum and announcements? Going one more time. And if not, we'll move over to call for changes to the order of the day. Are there any calls for changes to the order of the day? Going one more time. And if not, we'll move over to the approval of last meeting's minutes. 23rd regular Senate meeting minutes brought to you by our Deputy Speaker, Carolyn Christensen. Is there a motion for approval?
Motion to approve. Second.
Okay, all right. Thank you all very much. With that, we're going to move on to guest reports, but Zach is not here, or he was here. Oh, maybe that's not Zach. That's you. Okay. Then I am going to move on to the state of, well, Zach's off doing this meeting. I'm gonna move on to President Bennett's State of the Student Body Address. Just a forewarning, I couldn't get it on that.
To show the video.
Yeah, because I just have it like this. So it only is really working on my computer for
Oh, change the audio source.
all right.
She does have a twin sister.
All right, thank you. I'm just gonna reward that by President. Okay, all right. Thank you all for adapting to that real quickly. With that, we'll move on to our next guest report given by the Director of Governmental Relations.
Good evening, Senate. This will be my last in-person report because next week I'll be in New York, so I'll not be here to give a report. I think I'm going to write one up just as kind of a summary of my position for next week, just kind of fitting it to our cabinet positions. But for this week, there was a city council meeting on Monday. The city council really they had a work session kind of deciding how they're going to proceed in the future. So since Mayor Rob Green has been the mayor, they've kind of done like a work session format where like the city council kind of puts all of their agenda items out in front of them, and then they kind of talk about them open in front of the public, and then they go to the committee of the whole, which is also the city council, it's the same people, and then the public is able to comment then, and that's kind of when they make decisions. The former format was like a committee format, where like they pushed it off to committees, and there used to be 7 committees, and then there was 4, and then there's 3, and then there's 9, or like they still exist, but they don't go to committee. I don't know. It's kind of confusing for a while, unless you have a deep history of Cedar Falls City Council. So basically, what I gathered is that they're kind of deciding their future and like how they're going to operate the future. So yeah, so if you're very interested in that, I recommend either going to city council meetings or just paying attention to them. They put them on TV. For next year, definitely it's got to be a role. It's like I already talked to Leila and Makaya, they know, but it's got to be a role you got to fill because it actually is a great asset to link you and I with Cedar Falls. I mean, we drive a lot of what goes on in Cedar Falls, whether we know it or not, or whether we realize it or not, and Cedar Falls like very much values like our input and things like that. So that was the meeting this week. Morning. Birthday cleanup, just contact Anton. He's the guy. If you need any information, want to know about it, want to participate, anything like that, Anton's your guy.
There is a form you should fill out within the next week or so. There's a form you should fill out by Monday if you want to do anything about it, just so the trail system can.
Yeah, so disregard any form or updates that if you don't, the same time, take care of it.
I will send one to Sam so you can send out all y'all.
Perfect. The World LLC today, we really had one mission, just kind of find out what the Senate was up to, what their plan was for funding higher education, and we kind of already knew the answer to that question. We kind of answered our own questions in a roundabout way. Today was kind of an eye-opening experience in the way that senators were asking me and us what was going on, as opposed to like communicating with each other. So it was kind of weird that like LLT has got to the point where we know more than a lot of the senators and representatives do. So that was kind of like a very eye-opening moment, and like I won't speak anymore on that, but basically my best prediction, if I had to give one, would be it's going to be a 2.5% increase, which is kind of what they started at the very beginning of the year. So I don't know why it's taking so long. In terms of LLT, it was a great year. Shout out to Parker, Mason in the room right now. Shout out to Grace and Joe. They're not here right now. President Sam Bennett contributed to LLT, but it's been a really good year. I came in with one goal to build back relationships with the Senate, and I think we definitely accomplished that goal. And I think that was very apparent today, just in the way that they talk to us, in the way that like they know that we know what's going on. They know they trust our opinion. They trust that we have the right facts, the right knowledge. And so that maybe hasn't been the case in years past, but we definitely built back that relationship. And I know I mentioned this last week, but a couple weeks ago, a senator actually approached me and said, like, gave me kind of kudos of like, hey, UNI has the most professional program here. They do the best job. And like you can ask the Senate that. I'm just relaying that information to you guys, but we really have something special in our LLT here. And it's no thanks to me, it's just thanks to how NISG is set up for the success of that position, really. And like for years to come, it's a great asset to the university. And just thank you for everyone on LLT, everyone who's contributed. It's been a great year. In terms of the op-ed I was writing, I kind of pushed that back because I wanted to include more in terms of like all of my time as Doger and like what I've experienced at the Capitol of the Doger role, and just kind of like what that looks like. When I first wrote it, I just think it came out kind of the wrong way. Didn't come out how I was wanting to portray it. It just needed some areas, but I'm working with Nixon and that he's helped me quite a bit, just like formulating that. So yeah, it's loaded. To come. That'll come out, but I no longer do it anymore. When I've passed away and moved. Kudos, Sam and Allison, for being great administration. I really like the way that they did things this year. I think they're both very ambitious and very accomplished a lot of things. They were a great president, vice president to work for. Unfortunately, not here for me to thank them in person, but I think they know like that they really did a lot for our country this year. So very thankful to them. Very excited for the next administration coming in. It needs to be a great year next year as well. Being back in person has been all the difference. I fortunately wasn't here last year. I didn't have to really experience that COVID year, but coming back into this is like it's been interesting. And I think we've kind of hit our stride going into the future. So, and actually in good hands. I know that. I shall leave you with. So whatever you do, do it with tact. Any questions? Thank you.
Director of Governmental Relations. And with that, we move on to our reports from the Senate, beginning with Senator Geneva Bell.
Hey guys, so this is my initiative for the rest of this term and then next term as well when I serve as senator. And I'm calling it You and I Online. So pretty much even when I was like transferring here, I kind of noticed that some of the information on the website kind of hard to find. It takes a lot of like clicks to get to what you actually need. And then even when I was meeting with President Bennett, we were going through it together and we found references to the Panther Shuttle, which we don't do anymore. There's even like incorrect names for executive members of clubs on certain pages. And then it just overall contains a lot of outdated information. And the search function, a lot of the time, actually brings you to older pages and then the new pages are underneath it. So my plan was to enlist student volunteers to come into the website. There actually are student orgs geared toward web design. So I was planning on reaching out to them, and President Bennett actually already did help me reach out to a couple of people, including the Interactive Digital Studies program. And so actually I've been in contact with a few professors in that program, and one of them suggested doing an audit-a-thon in Rod Library, where pretty much we just take student volunteers and we get all of them together and they go through the website and try to find things that we can update and bring it to me. And I already have professors and students interested in doing this and willing to help. I pretty much would just, all I need to do now is just let IT know so they can just get ready for me to bring them the stuff that needs to be updated. So yeah, my presentation is pretty short. If you have any questions or suggestions or want to help me in any way, shape, or form, you guys can scan the QR code. It's just a short Google form. It's just like your name and your email, and then like a comment box, or you can email me. And it's listed on here, but it's also in the folder, so you guys can look at it. That's all I have. Does anyone have any questions? Thank you.
Moving over to our next Senate report, Senator Madison Duong.
Hi everyone. So this is my initiative, which is currently in motion. But my initiative this term is Student Small Business Spotlight, and it's kind of exactly what it sounds like. I just want to promote UNI student small businesses via the UNI website and social media posts. Supporting small businesses in general is important to me, and I think this is a good way to not only honor students who are balancing the workload of school and business, but it might spread the importance of just supporting small businesses in general. So how I plan to see this through, as of right now, there's a submission form on the NISG website, and it kind of just has like basic questions like contact information, what their business is, what it stands for. So that is up on the NISG website for them to fill out, and then I will get an email for when anybody responds. And at that point, I will meet with them in person just to learn a little bit more about their business, and then also
collect photos from the website. And then afterwards, I'm gonna write up a description for each business. And then afterwards, I'm gonna put that with the description and the photos on a Google Doc. And then the link to that Google Doc will be on the NHG website, like on the same page as that submission form. And then also I'm gonna have extra promotion on various Instagram accounts to maybe like a newsletter or something like that to spread that. Where I'm currently at right now, I met with Rose last week to plan the details regarding the actual website because I don't really know how to do that by myself. So she has a lot of help. She also helped me solidify an actual plan to see this through. So I'm really thankful for Rose. Again, like I said, the submission form is up. I'm currently still waiting for responses, but I have contacted the UNI Student Involvement Office to help me spread the word. I've not heard back from them yet, so I might send a follow-up email soon. So again, currently waiting for responses, but I do know like people who have small businesses, like friends, so I might have to approach them individually and ask if this is something they'd be interested in. So I have any questions? Thank you.
All right, with that, we'll move on to our third Senate reports given by Senator Sam Ferguson.
So hi everybody, I've been working this semester on SAW, and you guys may be wondering what that means. It is Sexual Assault Awareness Week. It is a week of events that help raise money and awareness for survivors of sexual assault. There's a little definition for you if you like that. Basically, we've been doing this, my fraternity's been doing this for years. And this year I was actually in charge of planning the events and seeing them through and helping to raise money for the Riverview Center, which is our partner in all these events. And then you might be asking, what is the Riverview Center? And the Riverview Center is a center. The Riverview Center provides free and confidential services for survivors of sexual assault on the UNICE campus in Cedar Valley. And the money we raise for the Riverview Center, it goes to help support these survivors. So Melody, who is in Cedar Falls branch, she actually said that last year with the funds we raised, they were able to help buy a survivor's family a fridge, a stove, and help renovate their house a little bit. So this money is very useful for those people that need it. Yeah, and all money that we raise goes to the Riverview Center. Our goal this year is 15,000. Last year was 10,000. We are about a third away to reaching our goal. Yeah, and then put that in there. Some ways we raise funds is through crowdfunding. We use GiveButter, which is super easy to use. We also do fundraising events. Like this year, we are doing a bag tournament again. Cornhole for the cause with Baby Pie. We will have a donation jar at our Seesaw event and our kickoff. So if you come out to that, you can donate there as well. And then moving on, so these are the events we are planning for this coming week. So this is next week. Monday we'll be having our Seesaw. It's our kickoff at noon. Tuesday we'll be doing a UNI Med for Equity. Wednesday will be sexual assault survivor panel. Thursday is the 85 to get bags tournament. It's also known as Cornhole for a Cause. So I use those pretty interchangeable, but you can use whatever one you want. And then finally, Saturday, we are doing a SAW walk / run 5K. Now getting into the events, I'll start off with Mondays. Like I said, we'll be doing our Seesaw on Monday. That's 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. NISG is partnering up with us from 12 to 1, sorry. It's taking place in front of the Union. And then our kickoff event for the week will be from 12 to 1 as well. This will include speakers such as Melody, who's from the Riverview Center, Isabel Bergson, who's going to talk about the Green Dot program, and then Leah Gutnick, who is from the Title IX office. She's going to talk about how Title IX relates to sexual assault on our campus. If you have any questions about that, you can talk to me. Next, on Tuesday, we're watching The Mask and Vivian, which talks about toxic masculinity, how men and mostly boys in middle school, high school, and elementary school don't really have an outlet to talk about their feelings to people without being called nasty names. So this really focuses on just getting those sources available for those people. If you'd like to sign up, I think the presentation moving forward, and you can click on any of these links to sign up for these events. This Tuesday event is from 6 to 7:30 or 8. And it is in Camrick's auditorium. This will also have a discussion throughout the movie, so we are going to watch it beforehand, find some times where we'd like to talk about what's going on in the movie. It's also open to the community too, so if you know somebody in the community that would like to attend this, they're more than welcome to come. And then moving on to Wednesday, this is our survivor panel. This will be in the bank hall from 7 to 8:30. Basically, it's going to be Melody from the Liberty Center asking survivors to share a little bit about their story, ask questions to them, and they will just share their experience with people that are in attendance. If you'd like to sign up for this event too, the link is in the presentation. Everybody is welcome. Just make sure you RSVP for this one to protect the survivors. And then Tuesday is Only for a Cause. It's $20 per team, so 2 people. You're guaranteed at least 3 games. And then it's on Maucker Field from 4:30 till whenever you get out, or the winners win the tournament, I guess. There is $100 cash prize if you get first place, with second and third place prizes as well. I think there's Apple gift cards for second and third as well. So it's pretty enticing that way. But it's really fun. This is our second year doing it with 85. It's really a time I value. And then wrapping it up with Saturday, this is our first time doing the 5K run / walk. I'm really excited for this one too. It's $10 to participate, and you get a bag of goodies when you do sign up and before the race. If you'd like to volunteer to help us, like standing at corners to direct the runners, you can sign up at that link. And if you would like to participate, you can sign up at the gift letter. It's just donate your $10 and you'll be entered into the race. This will be starting at the dome, behind the dome, and we'll be running around campus. Yeah, but it should be a lot of fun. I think that's all. Thank you.
And with that, that brings us to our last Senate report given by Senator James Kamoulis.
Okay. So last semester in like October, I also gave a Senate report about the same thing, and I just wanted to, before we end this term, move to the next one, to let you guys know what I have been working on with that since then. So I'm working on my LGBTQ training initiative. I've been doing some research on some different LGBTQ stats and different types of trainings for that. So currently on the university, we have the Safe Zone Ally training, and we also have an LGBTQ course that is actually coming to campus in the spring of 2023 that people can get in. Both are currently opt-in, like training for our class, which is obviously opt-in. For the training I'm thinking of, I would want it to be an opt-out training. So kind of the difference is that for an opt-in training, you have to like sign up for it. You have to go and seek it out for yourself, which people tend to not want to take the effort to do that. An opt-out training is a little bit more, people have to take the effort to not do it. So more people are going to be inclined to just stick with it and go through the training. So some things I would want to have this training cover is some different LGBTQ history and some different all the different ranges and parts in the spectrum of the LGBTQ community, as well as hopefully some LGBTQ sex ed. Yeah. The reason I say it's LGBTQ sex ed is because That's not a great thing that we have in this country right now. Only 37% of our schools in this country have LGBTQ sex ed. As of 2018, Iowa had none. No schools in all of Iowa taught LGBTQ sex ed. And that is a thing I feel like people should know. So if they're not learning in high schools, they should at least be learning it here. Also, there's only 10 LGBTQ major programs across the country, so LGBTQ education is just not great, like across the board, and competitive LGBTQ education, so it needs to be increased for everyone. And then here are just some stats on how many LGBTQ people we have in the country, Iowa, and on this campus specifically, and why it's important that we have an education on these topics. So we have 5% of adults in this country identify as LGBTQ. That's 11 million people. And for youth, so people in like schools and some of the people that still might be walking around this campus, that is 2 million people. And in Iowa specifically, that is 3% for adults, or 87,000 people. And that is 19,000 youth. And on this campus specifically, it's 8% of people, 400 people on this campus are LGBTQ. So my bottom line is that we need a training, and we need to have more things in our training that we have. We just need to have more education on these topics and have knowledge more widespread and
Thank you, Senator, folks. And with that, we are going to move on to reports from our standing committees, beginning with organization and finance.
We met yesterday and approved, I think, one student org and approved some efficiency applications, and then we'll cover the budget and approve that during the Senate.
Thank you so much, Senator Ferguson. External relations, we had our last meeting yesterday. We approved our March 2022 newsletter about UNI Day at Capitol. And so yeah, check that out. And otherwise, that's about it. We did, and that was our last meeting. So, campus relations.
Yes, so we had our last meeting on Monday. We passed 2 resolutions for the positive highlight. One will be presented today and one will be presented next week. So be on the lookout for those.
Thank you, Senator Pitzer. And government and legislative affairs. I'm going to pull it up and you can speak from there, please.
So we had our final meeting of the term tonight. We passed one more thing that will be talked about tonight, and we have some more bills that are also going to be up for vote tonight.
All right, perfect. Okay, and with that, we move on to our legislative docket for this evening, beginning with SSR 2022-28. And James, you can, or any of you, or I can, or any other sponsors can introduce the legislation.
I can do it if you want.
Okay. SSR 2022-28, a resolution for recognizing Autism Awareness Month.
Okay. So it's about recognizing Autism Awareness Month. So Autism Awareness Month is in the month of April, and Autism Awareness Month is a month for celebrating and promoting acceptance for the condition that affects 3.5 million people as of 2020 in the United States. The first National Autistic Children's Week, which later became Autism Awareness Month, was celebrated in 1972. The history of autism in the past and current treatment of people with this disorder, including the original diagnosis as childhood schizophrenia, the discovery of different types of autism, the ongoing daily challenges caused by this disease, and further recognizing the Northern Iowa student government's support of people with autism in the month of April and always, and be therefore resolved, the Northern Iowa student government encourages all, and stands by all people with autism regardless of race, sexual orientation, religious affiliation, or create and encourages discussion about autism and other such mental disorders. And be it therefore resolved, this resolution be sent to the Active Minds and Best Buddies student organizations. Be it therefore resolved, this resolution be sent to the Northern Iowa to possibly be published so all people with autism on UNI's campus can know that the Northern Iowa student government stands with them.
Are there any questions on SSR 2022-28? Going one more time. And with that, no questions, the Senate moves into a period of debate or amendment on SSR 2022-28. Are there any motions to be recognized for debate or amendment? Going one more time. Going a third time. And if not, that allows me to motion the previous question, which allows us to move into a placard vote. Would you just do me a favor, Katrina, and put it in the chat for me what you vote? So raise your placard for yay to vote yay. You guys can't see, but Katrina did the asterisk raised placard for yay. All right, sounds good. Raise your placard for nay. And raise your placard for abstain. All right, with a vote of 15 to 0 to 0, SSR 2022-28 is hereby passed. We will move on to SSR 2022-29. All right. SSR 2022-29, a resolution for recognizing Sexual Assault Awareness Month. James, would you like me?
Yeah, you should.
Okay. A resolution for recognizing Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Whereas Sexual Assault Awareness Month is in the month of April, whereas Sexual Assault Awareness Month is a month for recognizing and promoting awareness and support for sexual assault survivors, which applies to 20% of women and 4% of men. And whereas sexual assault is defined as any unwanted sexual contact, and whereas Sexual Assault Awareness Month has been celebrated since 2001 and was recognized by President Barack Obama in 2009, and recognizing the ongoing fight to sponsor bills and laws to condemn sexual assault and support the survivors of the many forms of sexual assault, and further recognizing NIHG's support of sexual assault survivors in the month of April and beyond, and be it therefore resolved, NIHG stands by all sexual assault survivors regardless of race, sexual orientation, religious affiliation, etc., and encourages discussion about the further prevention of sexual assault, and be it therefore resolved, resolution be sent to NF, Northern Ireland, possibly be published, all sexual assault survivors on UNI's campus can know that NIHG stands with them. Are there any questions on SSR 2022-29? Going one more time. And if not, the Senate then moves into a period of debate or amendment on SSR 2022-29. Are there any motions to be recognized for debate or amendment? Going one more time. And if not, that allows me to motion the previous question, which allows us to move into a placard vote. Raise your placard to vote for yay on SSR 2022-29. All right, and raise your placard for abstain and nay. All right, with a vote of 15 yay, 0 nay, 0 abstain, SSR 2020. Oh my gosh, I'm doing that wrong because I forgot Trevor's not here. So both of those were 1401. So vote of 14 yay, 0 nay, 1 abstain. SSR 2022-29 is hereby passed. That move on to SSR 2022-31. This is a resolution for the positive highlight for end of March. Micaiah, you need.
I do not care. If it's gonna be faster with you, you can do it. So, or if you want me to do it, I can do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, okay. Okay, to keep this brief, whereas is the same as last time, and being therefore resolved the same as last time. So this is for the end of March. I'm just going to read the recognizing part. So this month is, or this end of the month is for TESOL, UNI Women's Rugby, and Campus Activities Board. The positive effects the TESOL Linguistics Club, also known as the Teaching English to Students of Other Languages, has done for the UNI campus community. Their dedication to help the students of other languages learn English has been noticed by many. By breaking language barriers and creating bridges of further understanding, TESOL Linguistics Club has provided our students with resources that will not only help them at UNI, but throughout their time outside of UNI. And further recognizing the positive efforts of the UNI women's rugby team and their achievements on and off the field, such as their fundraising ambitions in order to attend events, diligence in practice, and their advancements towards nationals. Also, congratulations to their second overall placement in the Conference National Qualifier for Sevens. And further recognizing the positive effects UNI CAP has had in engaging and entertaining the student body through fun events and their tireless efforts in planning and executing successful programs while reflecting the diverse needs of the student body, therefore creating a positive, inclusive, and fun-filled campus community. And then the rest of the statement. Any questions, comments, concerns? Thank you.
If there are no questions, are there any motions to be recognized for debate or amendment on SSR 2022-31? Going one more time. And if not, that allows me to motion the previous question, which allows us to move into a placard vote. Raise your placard for yay on SSR 2022-31. Raise your placard for nay and abstain. With a vote of 14 yay, 0 nay, 1 abstain, SSR 2022-31 is hereby passed. With that, we'll move out of our non-controversial docket into our controversial docket, beginning with SSB 2022-67, also known as the fiscal year 2023 budget for Northern Iowa student government. And I'm going to hand over the floor to our Director of Finance.
All right, so I will introduce the fiscal year 23 budget. So on the budget, we are anticipating an allocation from student fees of $250,000. Myself and the Org-5 committee worked to evaluate the budgets that were submitted by, I believe, 68 student organizations that are included on this Excel document. And basically what we did is we evaluated the budgets. We had a cap for travel, and then all other expenses were just identified separately. So organizations submitted all of their travel expenses and then all of their other programming expenses for the year. Like I said, we capped the travel expense at 1,000 to kind of make the allocation a little easier, because there'll be groups that will ask for anywhere from like $10,000 to $15,000 for travel. So we needed a method to kind of even the field in terms of how we were going to allocate monies to groups, because every single year a large portion of what is asked for is travel. So that's how we kind of managed that expense. And then the most money we allocated to a group for the current year is $5,000 to cheer. And that was not an amount like we said, it was like a hard cap, but that's kind of what we determined would be fair in terms of how much we were going to allocate to a group based on what they asked for. Because obviously, cheer probably asked for the most, $31,000 to help support their programming costs. But then we also have groups that have asked for a few $100s. So based on the allocation we get from student fees and the amount of groups, that's kind of what we ultimately determined would be the max. So I'm not going to go through every single allocation. In addition to evaluating with the organization finance committee, we set like an amount that we would suggest the organizations, and then we met with every single organization on a one-on-one basis, walked through how we got to the allocation that we determined would be appropriate, and then if they had any concerns or wanted to kind of adjust that allocation, they were free to do so, but all groups we met with were happy with what they were allocated, so we didn't make any adjustments during those one-on-one meetings. A little unique to this year's budget is not every single dollar that we were allocated for student fees that we could have allocated outside of our operations budget was allocated to a group. So if I pull up NISG's operations budget, that consists of like the salaries of the upper cabinet, just office expenses, and then some of the programming we do as an organization. So obviously even I did, many of you attended. State lobbying is for the legislative liaison team, and other expenses that we have as an organization. So this is what's unique about this year. So typically we don't have amounts that are this large for the budget. However, obviously I talked about this a few weeks ago, but there were some concerns that there wasn't enough money contained within the NISG's operations budget to support senator initiatives or other initiatives that upper cabinet members want to conduct. So in order to kind of account for that for next year, we have a $10,000 allocation for upper cabinet members, board of directors, senators, and the judicial branch for potential initiatives that want to be conducted by anyone in those bodies for next year. And then, like I said, there was $13,600 that is still available to student organizations that will be kept within the discretionary funds of the NISG operations account. So what this will be used for is, I anticipate that there will be a higher amount of contingency fund requests next year, given that some of the allocations were a little lower than what we may have allocated in years past, just because we capped travel at 1,000. So I anticipate groups coming back and asking for more money through contingency to help support those higher travel costs for some of the events that they want to do. So in order to protect against that, this money will be allocated in a similar way as contingency. Groups, however, will not know the difference between which money they're getting. It's kind of just like an advance on the contingency amount that we have, or that will be rolled over from next year. So like next year, I anticipate we'll have somewhere around $100,000 that will consist of contingency money for next year. And then on top of that, we'll have this money in the NISG operations budget to also distribute to groups. So those are the major points I wanted to discuss. Are there any questions from you all about the budget before we move to a vote? Also, I should probably talk about the guidelines too. These have been slightly adjusted. There were some like outdated guidelines that don't really correspond with what we have in the budgetary guidelines any longer. So when a group, whichever allocation they got, say they got $2,000, they can use that $2,000 on whatever items they would like or whatever expenses they incur, as long as they don't include items that are on the items not funded list. So they will have the freedom similar to what they had this year and years prior, where they can use their allocation for whatever expenses they think are most important for their organizations. So if there are no questions, we can move into a vote.
All right, thank you very much, Derek. Okay, with that, if there are no questions, the Senate moves into a period of debate on SSB 2022-67, the NISG fiscal year 2023 budget. Are there any motions to be recognized for debate? Going one more time. And if not, I motion the previous question, which allows us to move into, I'm going to do a roll call vote for ceremonial reasons. It's the only one I'm going to do. All right, I'm going to go in order though. Senator Myers abstains with an excused absence. Senator Christensen.
Yes.
Senator Sperry.
Yes.
Senator Kretzinger,
Yes.
Senator Ferguson,
Yes.
Senator Miller,
Yes.
Senator Carolus,
Yes.
Senator Toohill,
Yes.
Senator Richards,
Yes.
Senator Amin,
Yes.
Senator Piper,
Yes.
Senator Doolin,
Yes.
Senator Dodgen,
Yes.
Senator Bell,
Yes.
Senator Tungin. All right, perfect. With a vote of 14 yay, 0 nay, 1 abstain, I'm proud to announce SSB 2022-67, the fiscal year 2023 budget for NISG has been passed. All right, with that, we move on to SSB. Okay, SSB 2022-58. This is a first reading for an amendment to the NIH. I recognize Senator Carolus.
I would like to motion for unanimous consent.
Is there a second for unanimous consent? Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay, and I'm going to do a placard vote. It requires a majority to move into unanimous consent. Raise your placard to vote yay on unanimous consent. Katrina? Okay, perfect. Okay, so with that said, as we move into unanimous consent, raise your placard to be recognized for an objection that needs of legislation for the rest of the evening. SSB 2022-58, amending the NISD Constitution. And, do I have your permission, James? I mean, I'm just sorry. Okay, so this amends the Constitution in Article 2 about vacancies in the Senate. It just brings it up to date that between the first day of the academic year and the 1st of October is when we can appoint college seats. After that, after the 1st of October, they become at-large seats. Are there any objections on SSB 2022-58? Reminder, means objections, we just go into like the normal process. Any objections? Going one more time. And if not, I assign SSB 2022-58 to Gayla to prepare for next Senate meetings reading on the 13th. Right. With that, we move on to SSB 2022-59. This is another amendment to the Northern Iowa Student Government Constitution. All this does is replaces confirmed when referring to the president and vice president to elected. It was just the wrong phrasing. So, are there any objections on SSB 2022-59? And if not, I assign SSB 2022-59 to Gayla to prepare for second reading on the 13th. All right, with that, we move on to SSB 2022-68. This is a bill for Panther soccer prowlers, and I'm handing it forward to the Director of Finance to introduce this legislation.
All right, Panther Soccer Prowlers was an organization that was just approved for registration a few weeks ago, and they're requesting funding to purchase equipment for their organization. So just a reminder, this is a group that cheers on UNI women's soccer team, so they're requesting some items to like make noise and cheer while they're at the games. And since they are newly registered, they didn't get a budgetary allocation, so this would be the first funding they would get as an organization. So they're asking for $535 for equipment.
Are there any objections to SSB 2022-68? And if not, SSB 2022-68 is hereby passed. Move on to SSB 2022-69, a bill for the Criminology Club.
Criminology Club is requesting funding to travel to Cedar Rapids Juvenile Detention Center, so they're just asking for $225 to help assist with the travel costs.
Are there any objections to SSB 2022-69? And if not, SSB 2022-69 is hereby passed. With that, we move on to SSB 2022-70, a bill for Panthers for Abby.
Interest for Abby is a political organization that is seeking to start a group whose goal is to cultivate grassroots support for Abby Finkenauer, who's campaigning for seat in the US Senate. In addition to that, they also seek to increase civic engagement and assist young voters in making a plan to get to the polls. So they've met all the requirements necessary for a group to be registered under the guidelines. So if there are questions, we can move into it.
Are there any objections on SSB 2022-70? And if not, SSB 2022-70 is hereby passed. All right, and next we move on to SSB 2022-71. Oh, okay. Oh, wait, so this is an amendment to the NISG bylaws. So all this simply does is under Director of Transfer Students, it eliminates the requirement to serve on the organization and finance committee, as Gayla did not quite see the need for it unless anyone has any other views. So are there any objections on SSB 2022-71? And if not, SSB 2022-71 is hereby passed. Here, all right, and with that, I bring our 24th and second to the last Senate meeting to adjournment. Can I speak to Senator Rutzing?
Yes, can I talk to you in a bit? Oh, I'm gonna catch someone else real quick.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Katrina.
Done.